Today, we're talking about the mirror principle of reality and how to use the mirror principle to completely change your life for the better. And if you're wondering what is the one thing that if you don't change it, your reality is not going to change, well, it's yourself. And today we're going to break down exactly how your inner world is creating your outer world and what to do about that. Hey guys, it's Lauren. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about everything having to do with reprogramming your subconscious mind and how to live the life of your dreams. And if you're ready to take your life to the next level, make sure you sign up for the waitlist on my 3-month transformational coaching program. Clients have had amazing results and I can't wait for you to be next. All right, guys. So with the mirror principle of reality, it's a very simple principle. Your external world is a reflection of your internal world. And this is not a new idea by any means. It's been around probably for thousands of years. It's been shown in many different spiritual practices, different religions, throughout psychology. So nothing here is new. Let's just look at a couple places where you may have already heard of the mirror principle within spiritual practices and conscious creation. So the first one is, as above, so below, as within, so without. This is generally attributed to Hermetic principles, and it is also known as the law of correspondence, that everything is in correspondence, inwards to outwards, above to below. And the second one is a very famous phrase by Neville Goddard, which is everyone is yourself pushed out, which means the exact same thing, that everyone, your circumstances, your life is a reflection of who you are being fundamentally. And I like to extend it to also your relationship with yourself and who you're being at a deep subconscious level. So the mirror principle is pretty simple. Who you're being at a deep level, your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, is going to be creating what you experience in your day-to-day life and what gets created through your world. But even though we may know this, there are two big obstacles that I see when people try to use this information to change their life. And I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. So let's go through it. The first one is that people are trying to change the mirror as opposed to changing themselves. This is all too common. People want to actually change the circumstance outside. They want to change the problem. They want to use action and effort and force to try to change their reality instead of really going inwards, reflecting inwards, creating awareness about what are the programs that they're running inwards, internally within them. What are they thinking on a daily basis? What are the stories that they have about themselves, about their lives, about others, about the world, right? So when we try to change the mirror, it's pretty futile. That is how people get stuck in cycles and loops in their life because they don't like what they're seeing. They look at the mirror, they try to change it. Nothing changes because that's not where it's stemming from. That's not the cause. What's going on in your life is simply the reflection. So we can't start there. Now, as simple as this is, we have to be very aware to not be doing this in our daily lives and instead take some time for reflection. And the second main obstacle I see to using the mirror principle effectively is reprogramming the subconscious mind. And let me show you why. So if you've been on this channel before, you may already be familiar with this model, but this is the model of your entire mind. That's who you're being. That is your inner world, right? You have your 10% conscious mind that makes up your conscious thought, your awareness, your decision-making, even your actions. And then you have 90% subconscious actions, thought, emotional responses, emotional reactions. Okay, and most of who we are being is actually subconscious. So if we try to think of the individual and we try to say, why is my life reflecting out all the stuff I'm being in my conscious awareness, the 10% awareness that I have, I think I'm being in alignment with what I want. Well, most people are not really paying attention to the 90% of programming that they have underneath the surface that is creating the majority of what they see that is reflected in the mirror. So we have to spend a lot of time really focusing on what is going on in the subconscious. Now, one great way to figure out what's going on in the subconscious mind is simply to use the mirror principle. Look outside in your reality. Look outside and ask yourself, what do I not like that I'm experiencing right now? What would I prefer to be different? What is a circumstance that is challenging? What is something that is repeating over and over and over again in my life that I don't want to keep seeing? And then ask yourself, what could I possibly believe that could be creating this situation? Okay, again, what could I possibly believe? What stories might I have? What thoughts might I hold that could be allowing this situation to be created in my life? Now, if you break down the answer to that question, you're going to find out and bring to the surface, bring into your awareness some of the programs that may not be working to your benefit. Now, something I want you guys to understand is that your subconscious mind is truly a supercomputer. It is so powerful, and it has the ability to shape your life and to create things that are even beyond your understanding of how those things would come to fruition from our limited conscious understanding. I wanted to get an example of the processing power, the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind. It was kind of hard to find exact numbers because it's just a model, but to give you an idea, I saw ranges of the conscious mind being able to process information at 40 to 2,000 bits per second, right? So that's not that much. Whereas the subconscious mind is able to process information at 10 million to 400 million bits per second, depending on who you ask. So no matter what, it's very easy to see that your subconscious mind is thousands of times more powerful, thousands, if not tens of thousands of times more powerful than your conscious mind. So if you're not going to dig into the programs that are running, it makes absolutely no sense to just go on trying to make things happen through this 40 to 2,000 bits per second of processing power and information compared to the supercomputer that you have that most people are not using correctly. Okay, because you cannot outcompete the programs in your subconscious mind. And I see so many people trying to do that. They try to outcompete, right? They try to do through action and effort and force, try to change what they're seeing in the mirror, right? By doing and trying and forcing. But you're using such a limited program compared to this part of your mind. And if you just use this part to spend a little bit more time to program this part, you'll be able to harness the power of your subconscious to help you go in the direction of your goals. So the question is, how do you make the mirror principle and subconscious reprogramming work for you? Well, here are the 4 keys that you need to keep in mind to truly make this mirror principle work for you and start getting massive changes in your life from today. The first is that you need to cultivate trust in your subconscious mind. So why do I spend time to explain the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind? Because we need to cultivate trust in your subconscious. If you keep trying to control everything through your conscious mind, if you keep trying to control things through your conscious effort, if you keep trying to control what you're seeing in your 3D reality, what you see outside of you, you're going to keep finding yourself in the same loop. So you must start to create trust, faith in the process, in your subconscious mind, in the universe, in God. It doesn't really matter. The idea is that you have to trust that there is an external force that is greater than you that is going to help you get to your goals. I like to think of it like a calculator. Okay, if I give you a calculator and I ask you to do 5 times 5, you come to the answer 25. You put it in the calculator, you see it comes to the same answer. I give you bigger numbers, bigger questions to complete. You get to your answers, the calculator shows you the exact same thing. So eventually you just learn to trust the calculator, right? You just learn that the calculator is more powerful than you. It can do it faster than you. It can do it better than you. And now you can focus your energy on different tasks. Your subconscious mind is also an unbelievable computer. I don't know how my computer works. I can't take it apart, put it together. I have no idea how all the different programs run within it, but I do know how to use it, right? So this is what we want to be doing with your subconscious mind. The next thing that is so important, guys, if you really want to change your life, is that you have to choose agency in your life and say no to victimization. When we victimize ourselves in our lives, when we find ourselves in a completely disempowered state in our life, about whatever it is you want to change, whether it's financial, relationships, your feeling state, something else, okay? If you put yourself in a victimized state, you're basically telling your subconscious computer that this is completely out of our control. This is not something that we can do anything about. So remove all your resources from finding a solution. You are giving it a program to stand down from finding the solution to the thing that you want. And that is in direct opposition to what you want to create. So where you may find yourself in your life, maybe you didn't personally create it, you don't know how you created it. Maybe it's from childhood wounding or societal programming that you ended up where you are, or you were just dealt a certain hand, it doesn't matter. But we must choose agency for any of these methods to work. If you want conscious creation to work for you, but you're still staying in victimization, it's not going to work for you, I tell you right now, because you've literally shut off a huge part of your subconscious mind. You've created a paradigm in your mind where the solution is outside of your control. Your subconscious mind is so smart, and it will not spend your energetic resources trying to figure out how to complete it. So choose agency, choose empowerment. The third thing you want to keep in mind is you don't want to be digging up the seeds for the manifestations that you're trying to create in your life. And how this plays into the mirror principle is that people see things in their reality. They are in certain circumstances, in certain situations, things not going exactly the way that they want. They decide, okay, I'm going to make internal changes. I'm going to change certain stories. And then they constantly look out into the reality for the evidence of what they want to create. Understand that is how we stay in a vicious cycle, a vicious loop of having our negative circumstances keep happening over and over and over again. And we want to avoid that. So every time you check, you wreck. If you check your reality, you wreck your reality. You dig up the seeds of everything that you just planted. When you check your reality and you're like, oh, it's not here yet, a day later, 2 days later, you are digging up the seeds of what you're asking for. So let's not do that. Number 4, this is actually a big debate in the conscious creation community. Some people are all repetition, like the people who talk about just affirming day and night, or other people are all feeling state. People talk about just like knowing it or commanding it in. That's more of a feeling state. And I really want to clear this up once and for all. Repetition does impress on your subconscious mind. It's very energetically taxing, but it absolutely does work. And when you are a beginner, it is a really, really great way to start. Whether you're doing visualization, scripting, affirmations, repetition probably is going to be necessary depending on the kind of belief systems that you already have set up. As far as I'm concerned, feeling state impresses faster than repetition alone. A lot of people are like, you don't need to feel it real, you don't need to believe. Okay, it really depends on your own mental architecture, your own structure of your mind and how you approach things. You can use repetition and feeling state, you can use repetition or feeling state, or the other way around. But understand this, you absolutely can manifest through feeling state alone, and feeling state is actually more powerful than repetition is because it doesn't take a million iterations. That's conscious mind stuff. Feeling state is more subconscious work. So you can start with repetition, affirmation, scripting, visualization. It really doesn't matter. How do I know that feeling state can actually impress on your subconscious mind by itself without repetition? Well, if that weren't the case, then something like an aversion would be non-existent. So for example, if you eat something that's not good and you get food poisoning, you don't need to eat that thing 10 times. You don't need repetition for your body to create an immediate subconscious program of aversion to that food. It's immediate because of the feeling state, because of the saliency associated with that experience. So saliency also impresses the subconscious mind without having to use repetition, without even having to use mind or thinking. Repetition is amazing if you're a beginner. If you really want to learn advanced techniques of manifestation, to me, feeling is the secret. Just like Neville Goddard said, there are many reasons that I think this. Feeling state absolutely can impress on your subconscious mind in one time without having to repeat multiple times if you know how to do it correctly, but that would be considered more of an advanced technique. All right, guys, up next, how to visualize correctly. This is a great way to reprogram your subconscious mind, just like we were talking in the video. And I give you the step-by-step instructions in this video right here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.